A flaky, buttery cookie combined with flavorful, sweet, and a tangy cheese filling. If you crave a cannoli but in cookie form, then I gotcha. Hello shepherds, welcome back, and if you're new here, hello. This is where we talk all things sheepy. My name's Megan, and today we're transforming sheep's cheese into a fun cookie sandwich. I'm a bit behind on my butter making chores, so for our butter base today, I'm using our sheep ghee. And for an extra special touch, I'm flavoring our base with a hint of masala wine. The alcohol will cook out, but it will leave behind a nuanced flavor. Okay, so let's get started. In the bowl, we're going to add 1 1/4 of a cup or 200 grams of all-purpose flour. We're also using 1/4 of a cup or 56 grams of sugar. We're using 8 tablespoons, half a cup or 110 grams of ghee. This is room temperature. I'm not creaming the butter here, but it still makes a light and flaky cookie. If you're using store-bought butter though, you may want to soften it prior to mixing, because the sheep's butter tends to be really soft even when it's from the fridge cold. And even the sheep ghee can be softer than cow ghee. So let's go ahead and add in our salt, a pinch, a dash of cinnamon, so about half to 1 teaspoon, and then about 1 teaspoon or 4 grams of wine. And you can sub vanilla if you don't have any wine though. Then we want to mix it all together. It'll be crumbly at first, but as we combine it, it'll come together. If you grab a handful of your dough and squeeze it, it should hold its shape. So let's go ahead and roll this out. It's pretty soft and sticky-ish, so if you want to roll it through 2 sheets of parchment paper, you can. I'm lightly flouring my rolling mat and cutting out our shapes. So the dough as it is now is warm and it will spread a lot. Even if it's in the fridge and chilled for a bit, it will still continue to spread if you cook it. And I want to make a sandwich cookie, and to do that with our sheep butter base, we don't need to just work cold, but absolutely frigid. So let's go ahead and cut out our shapes and layer in our container. I'm using a parchment paper in between layers so that our cookies don't stick together, and then we're going to pop our cookie cutouts into the freezer for a couple hours or overnight. We want them to be frozen solid, really. Okay, our cookies are frozen solid, so let's bake our cookies. So we're going to preheat our oven to around 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 204 degrees Celsius, and let's mix up our filling. Traditionally, cannoli fillings are made with ricotta, but I've been on a yogurt and soft cheese binge lately, so I wasn't sure if I should make a special ricotta just for this recipe or use one of our other cheeses that I have on hand. The yogurt I have on hand is more like a labna style and has a really strong yogurt flavor, and then I have some Neuchâtel cheese. It has a vibrant but mellower yogurt flavor for sure, and similar to a chèvre or cream cheese, it's super smooth. It has a good body that's pretty close to a whipped ricotta, so I decided to go with the homemade sheepy Neuchâtel, even though it's technically not a ricotta. If you want to use ricotta though, or if you have some on hand, I have a video where I showed how to use it and make it. I'll go ahead and link that, but I'm using what I have on hand at this moment. Okay, so our oven's ready to bake, so we want to pop in our frozen cookies into our oven and bake for about 10 minutes or a really light golden brown. And then we want to set them aside to cool. They're pretty delicate while they're still warm, so it really helps to cool them down a couple minutes before we're going to transfer them to a better place to chill out more. And back to our filling. I drained this cheese overnight so that this is still a pretty firm cheese. So in a bowl, we're going to add our 4 ounces or 115 grams of our soft cheese, drained well. If you're using ricotta, especially store-bought, the draining step is pretty important so that your sandwich cookies don't end up soggy. I'm mashing this cheese up pretty well to redistribute the moisture and get a better tell of how much milk we will need to add back in to get it to that texture that we really want. If you want to use cream though, that works really well. I just like to reserve all the cream for butter making here. Okay, so let's go ahead and add in the rest of our ingredients. We're gonna need 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, around half a cup or 41 grams of powdered sugar. I'm adding a dash of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, a pinch of lemon zest, and we're ultimately going to use between 1 to 2 tablespoons of milk to whatever your desired thinness, really. I'm mashing these all really well together. I have a jar of sheep milk here. I haven't skimmed the cream yet, so I'm going to push the cream to the side and grab the milk underneath, and then let's mix this together well. I'm going to switch to a whisk to break this cheese up even finer and lightly whip it up. Don't forget to taste and adjust the seasonings to your preference too. As this is, I really like this filling. I could eat it as it is alone. It has a really wonderful brightness from that lemon zest, and even though it's made with skim milk, it's creamy and full-bodied. It feels really rich, but also light, and the cheese comes across more like a buttercream. If I didn't know this was a cheese base rather than a butter base, I don't think I'd be able to tell. Next, let's add our filling to our piping bag. I'm using a size 12 round tip. I have this old reusable piping bag, but a plastic bag would work too. And then we're going to set the filling aside in the fridge to assemble later. So let's move on to our garnishes. A family member bequeathed me this bountiful bag, so let's coat our cookies in this chocolate. These chocolate chips look pretty bloomed, so I'm not sure if they're milk chocolate or dark chocolate. It looks like a mix, and I'm not going to temper them, so hopefully it'll look good. So in the bain-marie, we're going to toss in a handful of chips. I'm stirring to melt and then tossing another handful in, and it's looking pretty good. So let's go ahead and dip our cookies in. I'm going to use a spoon to better coat the sides and then make a decorative swirl. And then we want to either chill this in the fridge, cool on the counter, or use a freezer to cool it fully before piping or filling in. Now that our cookies are fully chilled, let's go ahead and assemble. This filling is enough for 6 cookies, but the dough is enough for several more cookies. So to add a little extra touch, I'm using a little sea salt as a garnish. It's a small grain, so it's more for looks than that pop of saltiness that you get with a coarse sea salt. And for storage, I really prefer to store these cookies in the fridge. They have cheese in them, so they still stay tender and tasty, but there you have it, your own homegrown cannoli cookie sandwich. Leave me a cookie emoji if you made it this far, and let me know if you make it. I love hearing from you and seeing all your sheep, and you all have so many beautiful breeds too. And don't forget, I appreciate you. An extra special thank you for watching, and if you're curious about more sheep milk recipes, hit that subscribe button, the like, the bell, so we can all keep in touch. Until next time, stay soft, stay fluffy, and most importantly, stay true to you.